Today, we're talking with members of Blood Bikes Australia who have experienced REALRIDER's crash detection feature firsthand. From team leaders to individual bikers, they share how this life-saving app has protected them on the road. REALRIDER's crash detection alerts emergency services when riders are involved in an accident.
I first came across RealRider as a result of a local rider that went missing and hadn't told anybody where he was going. And it took 2 weeks to find him ultimately. And this was something that, as organiser and of Blood Bikes Australia, was something that really haunted me. And so when I found RealRider, it was able to solve that problem completely, and so we implemented it across the entire range of volunteers. Every volunteer has RealRider, so that this situation doesn't happen for our volunteers.
My experience with the crash detection on RealRider is that it works. It's never been in anger, so to speak, from me, but I was out in a remote area riding and pretty rough tracks, and we stopped. Soon I got a phone call saying, "Are you all right?" Obviously, after bouncing around quite a bit and then stopping, it triggered the sensors, I'm assuming, and I got a phone call asking if I was all right. So for my money, it works well.
For me, it's not so much a personal thing. It's really more about the peace of mind it gives me, knowing that every one of my volunteers throughout the whole of Australia, wherever they may be, should the worst happen, and they do get involved in an accident and can't get to their phone, RealRider will ensure that help is on its way.
When I realised that somebody had contacted me, it was quite a surprise just to be sitting out in the bush and the phone rings. Fortunately, I hadn't had an accident and I didn't require help, but everybody around me, other riders, were saying, "What the hell was that?" They were really impressed that we got a phone call in the middle of nowhere thinking that I had had an accident. And it was just a feeling of elation and comfort, I suppose, to know that someone's looking over your proverbial shoulder.
Very simply, if that rider that got lost had have had a RealRider, there is every chance that he would have survived, and the outcome would have been better. That's why I think that I can't speak too highly of the value of RealRider for every rider, but particularly my volunteers at Blood Bikes Australia.
Even though there wasn't an accident as such, the alarm was set off and a response was initiated. And that's extremely reassuring, particularly when you're out in the bush and there's no one around. If there's no cell coverage, you may not receive a phone call from people, and you may not know a response has been initiated. But it's just a really good feeling knowing you're covered, you're not alone, and help is on the way if you need it.
Absolutely. Even if you're not in a team like Blood Bikes Australia, it just seems to me a no-brainer that if you ride a motorcycle, then you should have RealRider to protect you just in case the worst should occur.
I'd have no hesitation in recommending RealRider to any other riders, whether in my instance, being out bush and out of contact, it did detect and set off a response. And we'd had an actual accident within the Brisbane metropolitan area where a rider was knocked off his bike. And his story said that both ambulance and fireys were on the scene of the incident within 10 minutes of it happening. Now that's really good, and you'd expect that in the metropolitan area. Obviously, rescue times in the bush are going to be a lot longer. So it is very comforting to know that the system works and it's a worthwhile acquisition for you.
REALRIDER's crash detection isn't just an app, it's a lifeline for bikers like Peter and Paul. Whether you're riding alone or with a team, safety should always be a priority. Download REALRIDER today and ensure help is always within reach.